What's up? Happy Tuesday. Today is Tip Tuesday, and I'm going to try jumping right into it because, there's usually a lot to talk about on Tip Tuesday. So I'll do the intro at the end. That's my plan. So, Tip Tuesday, if you've been following me on social media, you know that I've been traveling a bit on vacation recently. I was on Cape Cod, and then I went to visit Reverend Melissa on Martha's Vineyard, and then I was in Baltimore. So, in the space of those movements, I've I've been talking about money, which is brand new. I haven't been talking about money with people on vacation before, but this is part of the new me. So I was talking about money with my stepmom, and she was asking me about cryptocurrency because I had mentioned it. And so based on what I told her about cryptocurrency, she decided to invest. And I was like, "What? She's going to put some money into cryptocurrency because of what I said." So that made me feel good. It made me feel like maybe I should talk a little bit more about cryptocurrency and talk a little bit more about Bitcoin here in this space because, maybe I might make a difference. So today, the question is, what's up with crypto? What's up with crypto and what's up with Bitcoin specifically? So, Bitcoin was invented by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2008. Now, you heard me start to use a pronoun, but I can't use a pronoun because Satoshi has never revealed himself or herself publicly. So there's lots of speculation. There is speculation that it's a particular person, like several times people have tried to out Satoshi and said, "You're Satoshi," and then whoever they say that to is like, "No, I'm not Satoshi." And also, there's theories that there is no single person who is Satoshi, that Satoshi is a group of people who created Bitcoin. Anyway, it's very intriguing. It's very intriguing, but it's a little off topic. But it's fascinating to study it just because this person has never revealed themselves. That said, Bitcoin was invented in 2008 by this mysterious Satoshi person. Satoshi owns 1 million Bitcoins, which by modern standards is 40 billion with a B dollars. $40 billion. Meanwhile, Satoshi has never touched that money because the way cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is set up, you can see movements. It's completely transparent. So, either there's two theories. Either Satoshi no longer has access to the money, or Satoshi is so rich already that they don't need that $40 billion, which is very difficult to imagine. Anyway, I'm getting lost in the lore of it. That's how Bitcoin was created, right? The question is why it was created. And so I'm gonna attack that in a couple of different ways. First of all, you should know that there is a finite amount of Bitcoin. So there are only 21 million coins. That's it. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoins ever. That's the way it was set up because cryptocurrency, as implied by the word crypto, is mathematical. It's programmable. So it is programmed to end itself at 21 million coins, and that's it. After that, if you're buying Bitcoin, you're buying it from someone else. I got some Bitcoin, you want some, I'll sell you some, like that. Okay, so as we know in life, when there's a finite amount of something, it increases the value. So that's part of why the worth of Bitcoin has been going up and up and up. And if you haven't been paying attention, Bitcoin hit $60,000 per coin when I was on the Cape, so last week. $60,000 per coin. It's incredible. And it started off at pennies a coin. So it is increasing in value. And the fact that it's finite is what helps it increase in value. Why was it created? Okay, so Satoshi, whoever Satoshi is, created Bitcoin as a hedge against the dollar. That's basically it, as a hedge against the dollar, because the theory is that the dollar is dying. I know that's a dramatic thing to say, but that's the theory, that the dollar is dying. That as inflation continues to increase year after year after year, that means that the price of goods are increasing, but also the value of the dollar is falling. So cryptocurrency, well, specifically Bitcoin, was created to have a currency that would retain its value indefinitely, that there will be no uh, inflation effect on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So, just to add a few more details, the US dollar used to be backed by gold, the gold standard. And this was ended by President Nixon in 1971. So before that, if a foreign power had dollars, they could say, hey, we want to exchange our $10 for $10 worth of gold, right? But after that, there is no exchange. There is nothing backing the dollar. And so this, according to the experts, is problematic because it's not backed by anything, number one. And number two, as we're all aware, over the past couple of years, the government has been printing money to create stimulus checks, but they're not backed by anything. They're not backed by gold. They're not backed by banks. They're not backed by anything. They just created the money and then sent it out. And so that has devalued the dollar even further. So back to the idea of there's only a finite amount of Bitcoin, 21 million coins, right? Because it's finite, it drives the worth up. But when it's infinite and you just keep making more and more and more, it drives the worth down. And that's what's happening with the US dollar. They're just printing more money, printing more money, printing more money. And pretty much all the financial experts that I've been listening to of late have been predicting that that is going to crash the dollar. And there's historical precedent for this. Zimbabwe experienced inflation that developed into hyperinflation. And so they had to start printing higher and higher denominations of dollars so that people could buy things because the price of goods was going up high and the price of the dollar was going down low. To the point where they even printed a $1 trillion bill, a $1 trillion bill in Zimbabwe, but it ended up not being worth anything because you couldn't buy anything even with that amount of money. So they actually demonetized their whole currency system and had to start over. So all that said, there is historical precedent for a currency losing its value completely. So that's something to look into. Anyway, the people, well, Satoshi that created Bitcoin is predicting that ultimately the US dollar will lose its value and will have to shift over to Bitcoin. So as that theory gained popularity, people started creating altcoins. Alt, ALT, is just short for alternative. So alternative coins. And they're based on the idea of cryptocurrency. And they're just different denominations is not the right word. Different, let's just call them tracks, right? Different tracks of cryptocurrency. And each of them is built on a different platform. And each of them has a different use because they're programmable. They are programmed to do certain things. That's a little bit, I don't want to go too far into that because it's a little confusing even for me. But the point is, there are many different cryptocurrencies now. Bitcoin was the first and the biggest, but there are many different cryptocurrencies. And they're all based on the idea that if and when the US dollar loses its value, you will have this cryptocurrency that does not lose value. Okay, so the next question is it safe? Well, I mean, I don't know, but it is designed to be safe. It is built on a platform called blockchain. And blockchain was literally created to be safe. Like each block contains financial information, and each block is in a chain of blocks, hence the name. And each of the transactions are automatically transparent to everybody in the chain. Like everybody can see what everybody's doing. So just for frame of reference, when you give your money to a bank and you put it in a savings account, and then you show up one day and you're like, I want all my money right now. What do they always say? They're always like, wait, hold on a second. Wait a minute. How much money do you want? We don't have it right now. Why don't they have it? Because they've been gardening your money. They took your money and they went and they invested it. And their hustle is when you show up to get your money, they have to go close their position on whatever it is they were doing to give you exactly the amount that you put in plus a little bit, but they keep most of what they made off your money. So that doesn't happen in cryptocurrency because everybody can see what everybody's doing because it's entirely transparent. So it's designed to be safe and it's designed to be unhackable, but there's always a way. But it should reassure you that it is designed to be unhackable. And the exchanges, like uh, Robinhood, Coinbase, the various exchanges where you can buy and sell cryptocurrency, they have spent significant amounts of money fighting hacking, making their exchanges safe. So there's lots of protections. So is it 100% safe? I don't think anything is 100% safe, but it's pretty safe. Okay, so I'm just making sure I've covered everything. Yeah. Okay. So the next question is, how do you spend it? Well, well, I got two answers. One, you don't. I'll come back to that. And the other is you can cash out, but spend it in a traditional sense, like go to the Pizza Hut and buy a pizza. I mean, you can, because as Bitcoin has increased in popularity, there are stores, mostly online, that now accept Bitcoin as payment. And you will see signs, especially here in New York, you will see signs very small in the window. We accept MasterCard, Visa, credit card, and Bitcoin. That down there in the corner. So you can spend it, but I wouldn't advise it. I think that it's a better net worth play. Like, it accumulates in value. It can accumulate in value dramatically, and so that increases your net worth. So you could theoretically have $1 million net worth because you've got X amount of Bitcoin, and you could walk into any bank and say, "Hey, I want to get a loan." And they'll say, "Yes, sir. What can we do for you, sir?" Because they can see that you're a millionaire already. And it's a strange thing, right? How the people who have lots of money are also given lots of money. That's a whole other that's a whole other conversation. But that's how that could work. It could be a net worth play. Also, you can cash out. It's not impossible to cash out. So there are some very interesting stories. Like, there's a story I like about a 12-year-old kid whose grandmother gave him $1,000. And the kids they're on this stuff, right? So the kid put the whole $1,000 into Bitcoin, all of it, all of it, and then cashed out for, oh man, I think not $100,000, but close, and used that money to build a company, like a startup company. And then that company got acquired. And the people who acquired the company he created, they offered him $100,000 or 300 Bitcoin. Guess which one he took? Yup, he took the 300 Bitcoins. And by the time he was 18, he cashed that in for millions of dollars. Became a millionaire at 18, didn't go to college. Millions of dollars. So there's that story, and there's so many stories like that. The Winklevoss twins, who came to popularity because of their legal battle with Zuckerberg, the creator of Facebook, over ownership. They invested heavily in Bitcoin early on, and became, I think, the first two Bitcoin millionaires in terms of net worth. So there's a million stories like that. You could just Google Bitcoin success stories, and you'll see a bunch of them. There's a guy who sold his house, no, his car. He sold his car and invested all the money in Bitcoin, and now he's a millionaire. So anyway, you can cash out. You can cash out. Last story. There's a mysterious person named Mr. Smith, who only goes by Mr. Smith. No one knows who he is, but he invested $3,000 in Bitcoin, and then later cashed out, not all of it, but he cashed out enough to have $2.6 million. Quit his job, became a millionaire, started traveling the world, and he still got the rest of it banked as net worth. So there are a few different ways that you can slice it up. But my ultimate point to my stepmom and to you is, I would rather lament not having bought enough than lament not having bought any at all. So I got in on Bitcoin on Cash App. On Cash App and Robinhood and other exchanges like that, you can buy fractional shares. Because I was under the mistaken impression that I would need to spend $60,000 to get a coin. That's not true. You can spend $5. You can spend $5. And is it enough? Probably not, but it's something. At least you're in the game, right? So I started buying Bitcoin. Like, I would throw $5, and then when nothing happened, like the sky didn't come crashing down, I put another $5 in, and another and another. And then I started buying other cryptocurrencies, because I just wanted to, like, have a portfolio of cryptocurrency, because you don't know which one is going to jump. Like Bitcoin and Ethereum are the two big boys, the two gorillas in the room, as my mom would say. But there are many different cryptocurrencies available, and so I'm in a few. And all of that I just said is why, because inflation is increasing. It looks like we're moving towards hyperinflation, and if that happens, then cryptocurrency will become the de facto currency of choice almost overnight. So better to have a few dollars in it in advance than be scrambling to try to get in it and try to understand it later. Okay, so I figured that would run out my time. That's my whole time. So I'm Sekou Wrights. This is the Be Your Own Hero show. This is the 62nd episode of the Be Your Own Hero show. Last thing I'm going to do is just shout out to Black Golf Hub. They sent me this shirt. This is actually the Juneteenth flag. I didn't know there was a Juneteenth flag, to be honest with you, but there was a flag for Juneteenth that was created in 1977, so it's been around for a while. The star in the middle is the representation of Texas. That's the Lone Star State, and Texas is where Juneteenth happened. So just quickly, the Emancipation Proclamation was in 1963, but this enslaved Black people in Texas did not find out they were free until 2 years later, June 19th, 1865. And then they started celebrating that holiday, well, that occasion, the following year. So June 19th, 1866 was the first celebration of Juneteenth. And then it didn't become a state holiday in Texas until 1980, and obviously did not become a national holiday until this year, 2021. It's a long time. So shout out to Black Golf Hub for providing me with this shirt and a way to have an easy conversation about race and slavery. So if you want to check it out, there's the Etsy shop. Go to Etsy and type in Black Golf Hub as one word. And also, last thing. So my website is SekouWrights.com, and as promised, I did figure out a way to add my charity run to the site. So if you look at my website there, you can see giving back, and on the left-hand side, it says giving to the unhoused via clothing, and that's obviously the Hero Ministry clothing, the gear. And on the right-hand side, it says charity run. And if you click the charity run link, it'll take you right to the place where you can pledge and donate. So please do so. Please pledge, please donate, please continue to support the Hero store. And I'm going to get out of here so I can go set up for a sip with Rev Melissa, and I may be popping in towards the end to say something at the end. All right, so keep doing, be a hero, be your own hero, and remember that now, right now, is better than perfect, and I will see you tomorrow right here at 10 a.m. Eastern. Later.